Hey, my name is Sarah. Welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. Alongside me, just like every single week, is manager Jacob. I feel like I really
that was the
went
fastest
to the namesake, baby.
Might have been the fastest.
Did you see my little TikTok I made where I was like and it's like, now I'm leave it to the song, and it was just like the God forbid she talks fast. God forbid I talk fast. And then someone said I have a low intellect because I talk fast, and I went, if anything, I think it's the fucking opposite, actually.
Is that something that people say? You low intellect?
Yeah, but I think you would have low intellect if you used filler words a lot when you talk fast.
I have so much
interesting things to say.
I have so much interesting things to say.
I have so many interesting things to say. I got places to be, people to see, other people to talk to. So yap.
Speaking of, Sarah, what are you eating or drinking this week?
Whoa, you just ripped it from me. That was crazy. I'm drinking the most, it's from the earth. It's part of us. It's 70% of us. Are we 70% water?
What? It's in you to give.
So I'm drinking water. I've really upped my water intake, and it's all thanks to my water bottle.
Was it my tip from the other day to drink more water?
No, it's because
we got the new Stanley.
I finally have the perfect water bottle I don't like the ones that have the straws you have to put in because I always lose the straw. This one is a flip up lid.
I'd almost say that's a fold down lid with a handle, not too big, because some of the Stanleys are so large and obnoxious that it's embarrassing to walk around with. This is a normal size water bottle. With the Stanley, I always wonder, because this one looks like it fits into a regular cup holder.
It does fit into a regular cup holder.
Whenever I see someone with a huge Stanley, I'm like, where do you put that when you're in the car? You just sit it beside you, buckle it up or something?
It's why they go small at the bottom, is because they do all fit in cup holders.
They all fit in?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been deceived.
But anyways, I'm drinking a lot more water right now, and I want to bring this up because I think it's interesting that I know people that don't like the taste of water.
I know people who don't drink water.
That's fucking crazy. Sorry, this is a real explicit episode already, but this is how you know it's like part 2 of a record day.
Who doesn't drink water though?
I love the taste of water. Do you know how excited I get when I fill up my water bottle before bed? I put a little ice cube in there.
Taste of water?
And then I get into bed and I'm sipping my ice cold water. I get excited about it.
Oh, I don't do ice water. Can't do it. I have sensitive teeth.
Oh, well, use Sensodyne or something. I love ice water, and I love water in general, and I love the taste of water, which I think is a pro because then I like drinking it, and it doesn't feel like I'm losing out on something when I choose to drink water. And maybe that's my parents conditioning me that when I went to restaurants growing up, I was never allowed to drink pop. I was only allowed to order water.
Your parents, here's my impression of your parents at a family dinner growing up at jacobmrrs or something. Ah, thank you. Kids, isn't water so good?
Or it was just it'll just be water for everyone before I could even go iced tea. No, it was just be water.
Yeah, I was saying it was just water. Maybe
a chocolate milk. Maybe that'd be crazy.
I would do a Sprite. Maybe every now and then.
Anyways, what are you eating or drinking this week?
Okay, well, you're gonna love it because the first half of it is water. The second half of it, melon. Watermelon.
Love watermelon.
Yeah. Listen, although watermelon, I don't know what's going on. They must be grown in Florida or something because the prices on these watermelons are getting high. I know it's off season, but I walked in, $14 for a watermelon.
It's off season for watermelon? I don't know what season fruits are.
Yeah, watermelon is late summer, I think.
Midsummer.
Around here at least. I've grown a watermelon before. It's delicious though.
Yeah.
Listen, cut up half a watermelon, put it in your fridge, have watermelon chunks.
I want you to grow watermelon at your cottage though this summer and see how long it takes, and then you'll appreciate.
It takes forever. Well, no, I've legitimately grown watermelon.
So then when you go to the grocery store, do you not think I think that all the time when I see fruit,
$14 is not enough.
If I was out here growing watermelons and selling them, they would cost $80.
Yeah,
each.
That's true.
That's what I always think about when
they're heavy too, big to ship, and breakable.
Yeah. So
perhaps $14.
I love watermelon. I feel like watermelon is such a fun summer treat, though.
Last I'm saying, here's my campaign: watermelon all the time.
What? All year?
Yeah.
You got that watermelon money.
Water on the fridge.
Okay. What are you watching or reading this week?
Okay, this is just my hack. What I've been watching this week. You know the TikTok algorithm. People are saying it's great. Of it. People love it. It kind of tailors to what it thinks you want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the time, it's true. Algorithms, though, they also feed you stuff that pique your political interest, but kind of piss you off a little bit.
Yes.
I have a hack for that. And this is what I've been doing. I don't know if I want to spill the beans on this, but I went to your profile actually earlier to kind of try to prove this. And it's true. It worked out. I've just been going to friends' profiles on TikTok specifically because the feature only exists there. Go to someone's profile and go to what they repost. Go to that feed. And then just scroll that feed. And a lot of the time, it's incredible content. It's great stuff. It's almost entirely
Was
positive.
it the stuff that I I feel like
A
the
lot
stuff
of
I
it's
repost is political,
Yeah,
though.
but it's political action focused. If here's how
Yeah.
you can go and do something.
Because
Here's how to
I
get
use, I think
engaged
everyone
in your
uses repost
community.
differently. I use repost when it's something that like I would love people to know more about, a topic that I can't speak of,
Well,
or I don't think I'm as like educated to speak
This
on.
is why I like it as its own little tiny algorithm, is because you're curating it as opposed to
That's true.
the algorithm
That's
curating
true.
it. So if you're like, oh, I wonder what Sarah's been, I wonder what Sarah's
What's
up to.
Sarah's
Or
political takes?
Or I wonder what like this other person that I just kind of know peripherally on the internet, maybe you don't
Yeah.
even know them in real life.
That's
You know,
true.
sometimes that happens. Go to their profile, see what they're liking. A lot of the time they're reposting music that they like, or they're reposting some kind of hope core. If you go to my profile, you're probably gonna
Chairs?
cry. No, it's
Hope
all
core?
hope core. It's all hope
I'm gonna do
core.
a late night scroll down there today.
It's
then.
all like 60-year-old men retiring and people showing up to their retirement parties,
Aw.
and then some dog stuff and stuff like that.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
But
look
it's a
at
lot
that.
more wholesome. So this is my tip to go and check out the repost algorithm on
on
TikTok.
the repost feed of your friends.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sarah, what are you listening to this week?
You forgot to ask me what I'm watching or reading. This is what happens when you
Sarah.
go off the rails and decide to snake the question from me at
Well-
the beginning of the episode.
What about you? What are you watching or reading?
I got an ARC, which if you don't know what an ARC is an advanced reader or advanced
Apparently you don't know what it is.
advanced something copy. It's an early edition of a book. It's when the publishers send out advanced
VIP.
copies. Yeah, the publishers send out advanced copies of the books, not just to like media and influencers. Like anyone can sign up to receive ARCs. It's like a random lottery, and it's basically so that when the books like comes out, then on Goodreads and stuff, people have already reviewed it, rated it. There's already reviews of it and whatever. So I got an advanced copy sent to me way back in like January of One Golden Summer, which is the new book by Carly Fortune. It's her 4th book, and it is based in the same universe, like with the same characters as her first book, Every Summer After, which is the book that made me like fall in love with her as an author. And I finally dove into it. I needed like it to be a little sunny, a little bit warmer. I thought it'd be warmer than it is right now, but whatever. And it is living up to all my expectations. I'm so happy. The book is so good. I'm not done yet. I have like 100 pages left. I will do a full review on TikTok, but it is living up to the hype because that book comes out in May. And I'm so freaking excited for everyone to read it. And it is so fantastic.
I like this. I feel like people are going to want to know about this. You said anyone can get on an advanced reader copy list.
Yeah, I don't know what the website. I don't know what the website is. If you look up on TikTok, like how to get ARCs, like people explain it better than I can. I've never gotten one, not from being an influencer, unfortunately. Like, so I can't say like I've had success with it. I've just been lucky enough that I receive sometimes copies in the mail.
Does it have like your name printed on every page or something?
No. Oh, it's not as intense as like when we get advanced screenings of movies and stuff. It's just like you are understanding that you're not gonna like go and spoil the whole thing.
Of
but
course.
they kind of, it runs the risk a little bit.
I guess if you're posting something,
they would know. They would know. Exactly. It's not like you could leak, like you're not gonna leak the whole thing.
Sarah, what are you listening to this week?
I'm still in my Heim vibe. Heim girl spring. I don't fucking know what I'm saying. Anyways, I love Heim. I'm now a #1 fangirl, and I really want them to announce a tour because I have a feeling it's gonna happen soon.
It's gotta be soon.
And it has to be a summertime tour.
Yeah.
Like them at Bud Stage is what I want. They keep releasing these banger singles, and they have this really
I've
funny
seen
cover
them at a couple
art.
of like summer festivals, and that's the perfect
I
vibe.
would love that. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And they live in the Taylor Swift universe. So like obviously it's just even more of a hit. I'm very excited. I'm also, just as a side note, I know this is irrelevant to what I'm listening to, but Lord Summer is coming, I think,
Yeah.
which is really exciting. They're all in the same like energy of music. I made a playlist the other day of just like current vibe, and it's all like Lord, Heim, I don't know, like that's the vibe I'm going for right now, and it's perfect spring music. So anyways, if you haven't like listened to Heim, I always like knew who they were, but I never listened to their music. Go listen. The Wire is such a good like feel good song, and it's been for a while.
I feel like have you ever listened to like Boy Genius? Phoebe Bridgers,
no.
Lucy Dacus.
I know who they
the
are,
other
but I've
one.
never listened to it.
They're kind of you
Same
probably
vibe?
like it. Yeah, you probably like it.
Look at me expanding my
Boy
horizons.
Genius is a little bit more sad, but like all of their individual stuff you'd like for sure.
I love that. What about you? What are you listening to?
Well, speaking of the Heim universe, and we have to do a correction because we were talking about
one of the
Heim
sisters.
sisters. That
Isn't it Esty?
it wasn't. It was Danielle.
Oh, it is
Danielle
Danielle.
that was on the Bon
Wait,
Iver
really?
song. Yeah, and I think it's just her. Maybe it's the other sisters as well, but I have a feeling it's just her. She kind of appears on a few other songs.
Oh, okay.
Because Bon Iver's new album came out recently.
Is it good? I haven't listened to it.
I love it. Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite albums.
Have you seen Bon Iver in concert?
Yeah, I've been front row.
Wow.
I was in Charlottetown and I had to leave a friend's wedding early
To go front row to Bon Iver,
fly
honestly?
directly back here and then sit front row and saw Feist open as well.
Oh, wow.
It was a great show. It's a great show.
You rate the new album though? It's good?
Yeah, I'd rate the new album. The last time Bon Iver released an album, it was a very sad time in my life.
Oh, you're associating with what's happening. Yes, okay, got it.
Now Bon Iver has gone through transition, and he
and
also
so have
is
you.
happy. Yeah, it's a happy Bon Iver, so it's a happy jacobmrrs.
I love that. That's like literally. If you want to ever check out Jacob's vibe, just figure out what Bon Iver is releasing as music, and that's how you know where he is in his life. They're twin flames in that way. I love that.
I love that.
What is something that we did this week, Jacob?
Together.
That's why we're gonna change it when we do things together. It's gonna be something we did.
Yeah, this was a fun one too.
Yeah, it was fun. So we presented at the Terra Awards, which is an award show that happens at the RT School of Media, which we both attended, class of 13, class of 18. And it's basically an award show that's like an Emmys, Oscars, whatever vibe. And when you're in that program, you take it so seriously.
Yeah,
we both ran it when we were.
Yeah, we both fully
produced
the
it.
shows.
Yeah. So we got asked to be presenters on behalf of Talking Fast. They called Jacob an executive producer.
I think it's because I haven't updated my LinkedIn in like 17 years.
It was
I used
so
to have
funny.
That
We're walking out and I hear an executive producer, Jacob Morris. I went,
I looked around. I was like, is someone else coming out?
Who? I'm like, are you the executive producer of this show? I don't understand. Yeah, it was really fun. We got to present best first year digital media something or another.
Yeah, and it was fun.
We walked around campus
as well. Yeah, there was a trip down memory lane. I don't think I'd been in any of the actual buildings on campus since I graduated.
Yeah,
which was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Now. And it was also fun, to be in the theater behind the scenes when they're producing the show, because as you said, we both produced it in our respective years. Mm-hmm. And listen, it's a student run show, but it is, people take it seriously from a production standpoint.
Everyone had headsets on.
And it is a huge undertaking. So congratulations to everyone that was
did
part of
the Terras. They kept calling it the Taras though, which I feel like this might be a pandemic blip, because I feel like something got lost
there was a
in
year
translation
where they on campus.
Yes, and they decided to call it the Taras. It has never been the
Terra.
It's been Terra because the A in
television
and it's a hard
Terra,
A. It is a Terra award, not a Tara.
It's not like television ons.
Yeah,
radio.
it's a Terra. So they said Tara, like literally Jacob and I and a guy I went to school with,
we had to
Taylor.
Call it out. We changed the script. We went off script.
We're all backstage and we look at each other. We're like,
Tara
that's
Awards.
not what it's called. And then so we walked on stage. We're like, one back in our day, it was called the Terra
Also,
Awards.
there's some funny clips. There's the clip of me like not knowing how to read. I have to say that had nothing to do with me. I was like flipping around my envelope trying to figure out how to read the thing, but it's because there were 15 other envelopes on the thing.
Yeah, someone left their envelopes on the things, then we were getting confused, and like it made us look like we didn't know what we were doing.
It was like a Oscars Moonlight
moment.
Situation.
We were a little stressed about that. Anyways, it was very fun. We got to like be award show presenters.
Yeah.
So if anyone else wants us to present awards, we'll do it. We're available.
Oscars, Emmys,
Tonys, Canadian Screen Awards.
Geminis.
Even though you didn't nominate me this year, we'll present.
We should do a Gemini.
Geminis don't exist anymore. They combined the Canadian Screen Awards. No, Gemini is a Canadian Screen Award. It's the same thing.
Well, call them a Gemini. We're Geminis.
We just order awards for ourselves called the Geminis. We are Gemini. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Whoa. Okay.
Sarah, and finally, what is something you've been loving this week?
I think the funniest thing about this is when I typed out, I wrote working out question mark. Who is she? I go through phases. I was kind of trying to find a workout class I like.
Yeah, right.
And I don't like workout classes. This is the issue. At my core of my being of who I am as a person, I'm very coachable, like in the sense of like, but I don't like being like,
you're not motivated by
I don't know how to explain
instructor?
it. Yeah, I'm not motivated by like being told exactly what to do. Like I think I need like a coach that someone's like flexible, like this, that, what. I just like don't like being told exactly what to do. It almost like turns me off in the sense of like, oh, then I'm gonna do the opposite now. And so I don't do well in workout classes. Also, They're really expensive, and in order to commit to them, like the time frames just like never work for me. I like being able to work out whenever I want
And
to
to
work
make
out.
them not expensive, you have to like commit to like, oh, I'm
I
gonna
have
do
to
a
go
2 month block or
go
something like
5 a
that.
week. And like, especially with running, like I've had so many injuries come out of doing workout classes while also in a running training block, and then like fucking up my calves or something. So
Yeah.
I've just, when I say working out, I've just like, I go to the gym in my building and I just fucking pump iron. I just
What's
lift
your
weights.
routine? What are you doing? Like, are you doing dumbbells? Are you doing the machines that they
Today
have?
I do a little bit of both. I just learned everything from TikTok. I love it because I can listen to my own music. I'm by myself normally. I can dance around the gym.
You're also like in your
I'm
apartment.
in my
then.
apartment.
You just go upstairs.
I
when
can
you're
go
done.
for like 20 minutes. Like today, I only had time to go for 20 minutes and I can make that work instead of having to like commit to a class, this, that. And I don't know. I just like that I can work on specifically what I want to work on. Like right now, I want to work on arm muscle strength. So I've been working on that, or I
Yeah.
can do as much or as little as I want to given the day.
Do you like the separation, like going to the place to go and do something, even though it's in the same building?
Yeah, because I literally have to take a little elevator to get there. So it actually feels like I'm going somewhere else, which is
Yeah.
nice. No, I know I don't work out in my own
See,
apartment.
I have a bunch of workout gear in my actual apartment because my building doesn't have a gym.
Is it tough though?
It is tough. The motivation's harder, arguably.
Because
I think.
yeah, I think so too. I think the fact that I have to like put my clothes on, grab my keys, lock the door, I have to go to the gym and it's in my building. It makes it a lot easier. But anyways, I really enjoyed doing it. I've been doing it every day for the past 2 weeks straight.
I like that.
So it's been great. What about you? What's something you're loving?
Okay, for me, and this I feel like is going to be a good lead in just for what we have coming up next, talking about weddings and whatnot, because I know that so many people spend so much time on Pinterest planning their wedding. I'm not doing that, but I am minding my own business on Pinterest. Social media can be a place where it's, it just sucks your time and it's annoying. I love my time on Pinterest.
I love my time on Pinterest.
I just sit there.
Pinterest is the happy social media
I
platform.
just pin things. I say,
the
maybe I'll
best.
do this. Maybe I'll make that food. Maybe I just like this image. I don't have any friends on Pinterest.
Me neither.
I don't fuck with anyone on Pinterest. I love it though.
I get annoyed when people find my Pinterest actually because I'm like, I made all my boards private because I'm like, I don't want that. Don't touch my Pinterest. My Pinterest is for me. I love that. Well, it really does go into our next segment where on the other side of this brief break, we're going to talk all things weddings. Welcome to wedding season. I'm officially in the season of life, not just wedding season, like it's coming up, it's spring, whatever. I'm now in the season of life that everyone has warned me about for the years to come, that eventually everyone's going to get engaged at once and you're going to be in all these weddings and all your weekends are going to be bridal showers, bachelorette parties, wedding showers. And I have officially reached that point in my life. It's kind of like starting this year, but more so goes into next year. Next year is going to be terrifying. So we'll re-record this time next year when I'm like in the midst of it. But we want to do a whole episode dedicated to weddings. So I feel like there's so much discourse on the internet about weddings and we want to be a part of it. How many weddings do you think you've been to before?
Have I been to ever?
Yeah. Like over under 10 or like over under 8?
Probably
like
right on 10.
Mine is like a little, I think I've probably been to 10 as a guest, but mine's a little weird because I was a wedding hall wedding.
Oh, so
I was a
you've
banquet
been in the
bartender.
presence of a lot of weddings.
I've been in the presence at least 150 weddings.
Holy shit, you've probably seen some
maybe
stuff.
100. 150 is dramatic. 100 though,
You ever see
probably.
a wedding injury? Like someone slip on the fall, an elderly person broke a hip.
Yes, no, but I've seen like fights. I've seen broken glasses by moi. I've seen I've seen wine spilt on brides' dresses. I've seen it all. So I just think it's really interesting because I think of an interesting perspective because I've worked as the service staff working weddings, like to a point where we had a running bet in the summer of 2015, this probably was. We had a running bet behind the bar where we'd like bet toonies on what their first dance song was going to be because it was Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran 6 weeks in a row.
That is exactly like my favorite movie, Wedding Crashers, where they say, oh, what is the scripture going to be?
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
fun.
it's just like, it's one of those things where I think I very quickly early on learned that it's like, it's so amazing that it's like your day and you think it's like this big once in a lifetime special moment. But then when I like was working them, then I would see the next night it would be the exact same setup. So it's just like pretty funny to have that perspective. But
did that turn you off from weddings?
It turned me off from banquet hall weddings.
Yeah,
for sure. Where it's all like one size fits all, and I don't know, like I just, and candy bars that say love is sweet, take a treat, like that was like the entire granted we're talking like 2014 2015 weddings.
Banquet
like
halls are pretty chuggy.
They're very chuggy, and I used to have to wear like a bow tie and a vest. I used to get mistaken as a
Can we get
groomsman.
photo? Do you have their photos of this?
I scrubbed
Can
them
we go
off the
on?
internet.
No, that's fine.
I used to get mistaken for a groomsman. It was bad. Anyways, this is our wedding context, but also note, neither of us engaged, neither of us have ever been married. This is just coming from the perspective of people that are in this moment in life and have attended quite a bit of weddings.
And yeah, we've been in weddings. We're going to be in weddings probably.
I'm about to be in
weddings
3.
coming up.
Yeah.
And it's spring season. The weddings are about to happen.
Yeah.
We also have Izzy has set up a game
that we're going to start with
called I Do or I Don't, which is essentially rapid fire questions where we're agreeing with it or disagreeing with it, I think.
Yeah, we're saying I do or I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Sarah, I do. No, we're going to run through them and then we'll both all say the questions and then we'll both say I do or I don't.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Destination weddings.
I do.
I don't.
I granted I'm going to a destination wedding next year and I'm in one.
If you said I don't, it'd be drama.
No, I also look. No, can I give the caveat?
Yeah.
I do, if it makes sense, because a Toronto wedding is stupid expensive and sometimes doesn't actually make logistical sense. The reason this wedding in Italy makes sense is because my friend literally lives in Scotland, so does all of his family, and everyone was gonna have to travel anyways. So what? I'd rather travel to Italy than to Scotland.
Here's my thing against it though. It's just like if I am gonna plan to take off a lot of time and I have to travel to another destination, it's just like I want that to be my trip. I don't want that trip to be about you.
Which is fair, but I'm taking it as an opportunity of I've never been to Italy and now I'm gonna get to go.
Fair enough.
And I'm planning a whole trip around it. But I understand like the week-long ones at all inclusives and stuff. That's like a little different because of the vacation days. But what's your take on destination of like somebody getting married? I don't know. Just this is the thing. The definition of destination is like
flight.
Because I've spent just as much money at a weekend in Niagara on the lake as I have like at a wedding where I've had to fly to Calgary for it.
Yeah.
So
Calgary, that's the destination.
Montana. I went to a destination wedding in Montana.
Yeah.
That one was only a weekend though. I
feel like a lot of the time destination weddings are only if they hate their family and they want to just
eliminate
put a
people
between them. Yeah, we got to speed these up because we have so many here.
Okay.
I do or I don't. Bachelor or bachelorette parties that are almost as pricey as the wedding. I don't.
Okay, well, not if they're as pricey as the wedding. Like, what does that context mean? Like, yeah, this is the issue. It's the TikTokification and Instagramification of bachelorette parties where everyone thinks that they should be getting these like influencer bags.
Exactly. I think that consumerism has gone too far on bachelor and bachelorette parties where there are too many gifts, there are too many little invitations, all that kind of stuff. Listen, I want to spend time with the person and I want to go have a good time. And I'm down to spend a few $1,000s going on a fun trip with people that you're probably really close friends with. But just do away with some.
And also, I love a theme, and you can do it on a budget. Like you don't have to do it the way that like 100%. These influencers in Los Angeles do it, and they have like Prada bags.
You don't need to get everyone a Rolex.
No, exactly.
To like be a part of like
exactly.
Yeah, get some cigars and you're okay. I do or I don't. Your bridal or groom's party are expected to pay for your bachelorette trip. That's like okay,
I mean, for me, I would say I don't. If you're choosing to go on a trip for your
if you're
party,
the one choosing of kind of how extensive in scope this.
If you are choosing the destination and you're like, if I'm saying I want to go to Calgary,
now granted, it's dinner. Pick up the bill for dinner. You know what I mean?
Or like for a bachelor party, we've done like we've surprised like with the balloon decorations, or we've surprised like with a party bus or something. Like pick up those things.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, agreed. I would. So I do. I guess I don't.
I'd say I don't.
Or sorry, I don't because it was the money.
I don't.
Okay, open bar at a wedding. I do. I don't want to go.
Also,
if there's not an
as
open
somebody
bar.
that's worked open bars and non-open bars, the open bar weddings, not only is it always more fun, the non-open bar weddings always end earlier. Like people leave because they're like, oh, I've spent my $20 on drinks for the night, and they leave earlier. So if you want people to stay and have a good time,
that's the same with drink tickets. Drink tickets is not a way to solve the open bar situation.
I agree.
No, and it complicates things. Kids at the wedding.
No, I do. I don't. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting the game. I don't.
I keep getting, you know what? It's up to the parents to have them involved or to figure, like keep them under reins. If they're whining, crying or something like that, get rid of them. Don't have them at the reception.
Oh, that's the wedding though, Jacob.
No, but you need them in the photos. You need, kids don't exist. No, they're not in any pics.
I'm a child and was in my cousin's wedding photos. Do you think I've ever looked at those ones? I don't care about them. So I don't think kids belong at weddings.
Okay.
And I say that and then
Okay.
watch me like get married one day and like have kids at my wedding. You can clip this off and call me a hypocrite. But right now, I don't.
Okay.
I want it to be a party. I want it to be fun for everybody else.
All right. Speaking of parties, I do or I don't stag and does.
We're both from like, well, you're from a small city. I'm from a small town. How big is Stag and Do culture?
It's big in Waterloo.
I say, okay, I need to caveat it. I say I don't.
I'm going to say I don't as well, but here's the only reason. I know how much, we both know how much it takes to plan an event. I'm like, do you really need to plan another event? That's a lot of a hassle.
Yes.
That's a lot of hassle.
And also, I don't like the raffles either. I hate the idea of fundraising for your wedding. I think it is stupid. Like, I think it's like, if you're just doing it as like you're hosting a party.
Can you make a lot of money?
Yes. I know people that have bragged about making thousands of dollars on their Stag and Do and like
fake engagement and then
I think that's called fraud. But yeah, I know people that have like bragged about making $1,000 or like they're pissed if they don't make this amount of money. I don't.
It's crowdfunding your wedding.
And look, I get it. It's crowdfunding.
But people are hasn't that always been what it's about?
Yeah, it's crowdfunding in the wedding. Yeah, but it's just like tacky in my opinion. And this is what I think is tacky. I think it's like I don't know. I just find it tacky. I don't like it. But I've been to them because like in my hometown, like they're very popular. And this is the thing. This is like my caveat is they're fun to go to because like if I don't actually have any like obligation to this couple to go to the wedding, but I kind of know them from high school or something.
That's fun.
It's fun for a night out because there's nothing else to do in the hometown.
I also like a little bit of gambling involved. Like if you have
they're all like if you have good games.
Prizes,
I won a speaker at a Stag and Do for a couple. I had no idea who they were one time.
See, there are certain things that are prizes at Stag and Do's that you wouldn't buy yourself,
but you get so excited, like the barbecue kits and stuff. Look, I would never personally throw one. That's just me.
I just wouldn't throw one because it's too much work.
That, and I think crowdfunding a wedding is ridiculous, especially if you're then going to go on a bachelorette that's a destination.
Okay, we got to run through a few more of these.
We could have talked about Stag.
Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I do or I don't prenup.
I do.
I'm a hard I do.
My favorite quote is, people don't realize you're getting a prenup anyways. It's just that the government decides your prenup or you can decide your own prenup.
Oh, bars.
Because when you get married, you are getting into a contractual agreement regardless. Why would you not want to be the one that puts the fucking information into the document?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying
you will be reading my prenup and helping negotiate it.
The other thing is like if you the only reason you have a prenup is because it's gone so sour, you're getting a divorce, you're splitting up. You would probably dislike each other anyway, and you need a division of the assets. A prenup doesn't have to be you get nothing. A prenup is just a contractual obligation from the beginning of what that division is going to look like.
And most prenups, it's the only legal way you can do is to protect your assets pre-marriage anyways. Like as soon as you have kids and stuff, it changes it all regardless. Like you're going to end up splitting everything post-marriage 50-50 regardless. But it just helps with those division of assets. Like as an example, my cottage is like something that I would want to protect. Obviously. And it's the same thing as like you don't divorce the same person you marry, right? So it's like if it's getting to the point where you're divorced, like you're why would you not have just like tried to protect yourself in whatever way possible?
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. I think it is so
I think that people need to we need to like destigmatize.
I think people also assume
prenups
are only for people that are like the 1% and super wealthy, but that is not true. Prenups can protect you in many ways. They can protect you. They're really important for women, especially who leave their jobs to raise their kids.
Right.
Like you put that in writing that you then earn like a salary or like a pension off years of like there's so many ways.
And this is not a conversation where it's just like, oh, it's one person's bringing a prenup. It's just like they're gonna fuck over the other person.
No,
it is a negotiation.
You negotiate, and also when you're doing a prenup, you're negotiating together when you're in love and getting married. So it's like obviously you're gonna want it to be fair for both people.
Yeah.
I just think it's silly to not do it because the government gives you a prenup anyway. So why not make your own?
I do or I don't. Strict dress code on, say, like only pastel colors for your entire wedding guests.
I do.
Contingent.
Why not?
Yeah?
People like to be told what to wear. My friend is in the process of planning a wedding right now, and everybody is already texting her being like, what should I wear? Like, what's the vibe? Like, what should I wear? Because everyone wants to like match the energy.
I'm going to say I do as well.
And so she literally said, she goes, oh, this might just be easier if I say like a certain dress code, because then it makes it so much easier. I love when I have to follow like a very specific way to dress because it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Then like, because there's some weddings that are like linen suit versus tuxedo.
Well,
how do you know the difference?
This is the other thing. I once showed up to a wedding, and my brother and I were there, and we were the only people in full suits, and we were overdressed, and arguably our suits were better than the groom.
That's tough.
And it was awkward.
Yeah.
But
that's like their own fault for putting a dress code.
Yeah, and I'm never going to be the guy to be like the worst dressed person there, or the middle dressed. I can always try to shoot to be like a well-dressed person, especially at a wedding. Anyway,
I agree. I also like when people say black tie, because it's just a way to make sure that people don't wear like shorts to your wedding, because like most people don't actually know how to dress black tie.
This is a wild question. I do or I don't. Having cold feet, but going on with the wedding anyway. I feel like we know people. No, I mean we know people maybe that have done this. Not you and I like together, like a mutual friend or anything like that. But I've heard about this with I've once removed.
Yeah. I've not heard about people.
Speaking of prenups, they need one.
I do. So what are you saying? I do or I don't?
I don't. No, don't fucking do that. That's
I don't.
awful.
Look,
you listen. Get to the aisle. Go walk down the aisle and say, actually, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do this.
Look. It might be a little awkward and a little embarrassing, but I think in the long run, you'll be grateful that you didn't like fake it and take all the photos and do all that stuff. That is so much easier said than done. But I don't as well. I think if you're getting cold feet, that needs to be a discussion. This is also why premarital counseling is a very important thing that a lot of people do. Premarital therapy. A lot of people do premarital therapy so they can figure out those things before they even walk down the aisle.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God. How many people, what do you think the divorce or the breakup rate is? Like, you think a lot of people break up during counseling because they're like, actually, we're not a good fit?
I would love to know. I actually don't know, but I know quite a few people. Almost all my friends that have got married or are getting married did premarital therapy, and they loved it. They said it was the best thing they ever did.
Okay. I do like that. I do or I don't. Is having cold feet a real thing? Kind of an extension of what we were just talking about, but is cold feet a real thing? Do you think people always get nervous, or is it, should there not be any cold feet? They should feel confident walking down the aisle.
As someone that hates, I guess I'm saying I don't, because I don't think it's a real thing, because as somebody that hates public displays of affection, even if I am in love and want to marry this person, the idea of walking down an aisle in front of all my friends and family and then having to kiss someone in public is the most mortifying thing to me. And I will want to feel like I assume I'm going to feel like I want to vomit.
You're
regardless
not a PDA,
of who it is.
Right?
No. So I feel like,
I don't mind PDA.
I feel like regardless, I'm going to be nervous. It's also like you're like performing, kind of like no matter what, you're going to be nervous.
Your lines,
I think there's a lot of things to be nervous about. So I don't think I think some people confuse cold feet with just like performance anxiety,
totally.
Which is like if you've never performed or really like had that many eyeballs on you, which a lot of people don't.
There are a lot of people in the room that like you haven't said hi to in maybe years, that you're just like,
and also like suddenly you're like this massive center of attention when a lot of people like in their daily life aren't. Like that's terrifying. So I think like you just have to, is it cold feet or are you just nervous because you're about to be in front of a bunch of people?
That's a good take.
Thanks.
Okay, there's questions from the broadcast channel as well for our wedding episode here, and we actually have a really good one. This is from someone who is remaining anonymous. My mother wants me to invite her best friend to my wedding, even though I don't really know her that well, and frankly, not the biggest fan. She is insisting I invite her as she wants her best friend to be at her eldest daughter's wedding. She's even gone as far as to offering to pay for her plate. Me not wanting to invite her has nothing to do with finances, more so just wanting to keep the wedding small and intimate. I don't know how to address this with my mother. Any suggestions?
I think this is where the conversation about who weddings are for has really shifted in a generation. I think weddings, well, let's go back in time to what a wedding actually was. It was quite literally a dowry being passed and like a woman being like given to a man and her family giving that man money for taking the woman off their plate, and like they paid for the wedding and all of this stuff, and it was like a way to get their daughters married off into money and be good, right? Like this is like Bridgerton when you think of all these things. So I think generationally, the idea of what weddings has changed so much. And even as recently as the 90s and early 2000s, I think a lot of weddings where it was a focus on family. Also culturally, I think in a lot of other cultures, the focus is family and like your daughter stepping out or like showing off to your friends and family. I know people who like to their families, weddings are like where big business transactions happen, or if they're socialites, like it's about who's who or like what their wedding was, all of this. But I think what has really shifted in this generation is that weddings have really become the focus of like it's just for the bride and groom and like your focus. And I think this is an example of like those two things headbutting a little bit, right?
Question for I would ask, who's paying for this wedding?
Well, she just said finances doesn't matter. Clearly, she is paying for the wedding because she said her mom offered to pay for the plate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
She's clearly paying for it herself.
Well done.
Thanks.
I think then no invite.
I agree. And look, what's your mom going to do? Not be your mom anymore? Like, because you didn't invite her best friend to her wedding? Like, let her be annoyed. But the second you're in that white dress and you're getting married that day, she's not going to remember that her friend's not there.
But also, yeah, this is your wedding. And there are probably, I mean, unless your mom has no other friends in the family or is very socially awkward and needs to have a buddy around for the entire thing for some reason.
Yeah.
It could, and that very well could be the case.
Yeah.
And it could be, legitimate reason that like she needs some kind of support system there to help her through this if there are complicated relationships with other family members or something like that.
But that totally makes sense. It doesn't sound like that. It literally just sounds like
I'm just trying to open it up and be devil's advocate of like maybe, because 99% my opinion is I agree. Forget but like this, how does she'll make it work.
Like, but how does she I don't know how to address it with your mother. I think honestly, it's going to be an awkward, uncomfortable conversation. I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday about this because as our friends are getting engaged and married and like all of these things, I think the biggest thing I'm learning is that if you are just honest with people, it is the best way to 100%. Get anything done. And obviously that's like a good rule of thumb for like everything in life, but the like trying to appease everyone or whatever actually ends up pissing more people off. And if you're going to be annoyed like this person you barely know is there when you want to be intimate, all this stuff, like just have the awkward conversation now. She'll get over it. And if she doesn't, then like maybe you have some bigger issues to figure out.
100%. And maybe if the mom's asking and insinuating, oh, I'll pay for the plate. Maybe the mom thinks that this is a financial situation that you would be fine with it if it, that, couple $100s or whatever it is covered. If you have the conversation, you're like, actually, it's not about the money. I just want to keep it intimate. Like that is maybe something that she just hasn't even crossed her mind as being the reason, but it makes sense. And then the other thing too is like, if you start allowing the mom's best friend that you don't really vibe with, who's the next person to be like, oh, well, they got to invite their friend. Like, can I bring my that
starts to go into,
can I get a +1 here? And then all of a sudden your intimate wedding is you have like huge. 20, 30 randoms. The vibes are going to be
That's a good transition to the next question that we got. That's also anonymous from the broadcast channel because this is it's talking about that. Where should the line be drawn for +1? In a long-term relationship, my partner did not get a +1 to an upcoming wedding that is out of town. The lack of +1 was not communicated. We didn't learn until after booking the accommodations when RSVPing. This was after talking to the couple about how excited we both were to attend the wedding. Neither of them corrected us on the messaging of my partner. My partner's experience is now being lessened as his friends are single and will be looking to mingle. He won't want to partake in that or dancing. This is now makes the cost solely his, which is expensive. We are also unaware of his friends and relationships receive +1s or not. So they don't know if he has. If they did, I know he'd be very upset. I also put us in an awkward position for our big day as I don't feel they should both be invited, but my partner doesn't want to invite just one. I recognize people not wanting randoms in their wedding, but I'm not some random girl he's bringing.
+1s is hard.
I think, look, stuff's expensive nowadays. So like I can understand no +1s if it's like, I know some people have like no ring, no bring, but if you're in a long-term relationship, like I'm just
if you know the person like enough,
like I'm trying to fathom if you got married and you invited me and you're like, sorry, Sarah, no ring, no bring for Nolan, who I've been with for 9 years. Like that would just be like a little bit like, oh, okay. Like that's your line. But the thing is, it's like, that's your line. Okay, I guess it's just like, I don't know. I struggle with the +1s thing. I don't think there should be a blanket rule. Like, I think you get to handpick who gets +1s and who doesn't.
And I don't know if I necessarily agree with the politics side of things. I know that complicates it because it creates a little bit, maybe some more uncomfortable conversations. But like, you're deciding the guest list of your wedding, and that doesn't have to be dictated by someone else's thought process for their wedding. So if you're getting an invite to theirs and you don't want to invite them to yours, I feel like that's okay.
And also, like, okay, so as an example, oh my God, I have another wedding this year. I totally forgot about. I got invited to a wedding from an old colleague that's happening at the end of August. And another coworker of mine texted me being like, hey, like, did you get a +1 to this wedding? I said, oh no, but I also didn't really assume I would because the wedding's like a little bit more last minute. It's a smaller group. And clearly it's like, there's a work table. Like it's all our old work colleagues.
Yes.
So that's the mentality is like, oh, it's like our work colleagues. Whereas in that case, like my partner doesn't know any of my colleagues anyways, and that makes it almost more difficult.
Maybe they see it in passing, but they're not going to be in on the inside jokes.
So I think if you're still creating it in a way of like, oh, like they have people to talk to where they have like their people, I think it's okay not to give +1s. If it starts to get like in this situation where, yeah, you were talking about the wedding and how excited you were, they didn't correct you. That's a little shady. I don't love that they were like.
That's on them to be.
That's on them to be, again, communicating.
Like, especially because it's going to cost someone a lot of money to like book accommodations, transportation. Maybe they have kids or something that like the one parent could stay home and watch the kids if they're not going to be invited. Or they're going to have to get childcare. They're going to have to book all that stuff. So if you're leaving those as like open-ended questions and just not drawing a line on if they do have a +1 or not, that falls to the bride and groom or bride and bride. Or
I do think there are some people that automatically get +1s. You don't get to ask, no questions asked. I think if someone's in your bridal party and they ask to bring someone, they're already doing you the favor of being in the bridal party. Automatic get a +1, in my opinion.
Maybe.
If they're in a relationship, yes.
But what if it's a new relationship? What if it's
new?
like
they're not gonna be in photos. Who cares?
Well, maybe.
Who cares? This is the thing. People get so stressed
AI
about.
is so good. It can take people out of your photos.
And people get so stressed of like might not be in a photo, whatever. If like you have like a maid of honor and they've just started dating someone, they're really excited about them. Like, don't say that they can't bring somebody.
Brother's wedding. So there have been, let me see, hold on. There have been 2 breakups since of the head table. And one of them was like a 3-month relationship only and didn't last. They're not in full on family photos, but like they're in all of the head table photos.
Okay. And then the other breakup was you.
No. I was
That's what I thought.
It was a full on breakup. No, there was a different breakup that happened as well. And that was a much longer term relationship where both of them were friends with Ben and Amanda. So
I just feel like
that makes sense to stay with.
I feel like you can't predict the future. Like there's no way to know.
Because it's also tough. Wait, but did you put them at the head table?
Okay, no. I also think head tables are stupid. As someone that used to work a lot of weddings, I think it's dumb.
This is a good topic.
I think it should just be like the 2 of you at a table. I don't think you need a head table. Let your friends that are your.
No, I strongly dislike the just 2 at the table.
No, I don't. Or like I don't.
I find it so awkward.
I think it's awkward sitting in a straight line, eating and looking out at everybody. That's what's awkward to me.
No,
I don't like head tables.
More awkward than a head table.
I don't like head tables. Also, most of the time,
because head tables are great for speeches then. Because then everyone who's getting talked about is in one place.
I guess. I just don't love the look of head tables personally.
Really?
I mean, like, I just like had to sit at one as a kid and I hated it. Maybe that's like where my PTSD is coming from. Okay, I want to get through a couple more of these questions. I feel like what's coming across in this is that everything is so nuanced and it's like, do whatever you want. I think.
Have agency over your own wedding.
Just again, I think the key is, as a guest, as someone that's in bridal parties, all of this, if you were just decisive and own your own decisions, and that's all anyone can ask.
If a guest is going to be pissed at you for something,
then you probably don't want them there anyways.
Yeah.
Like it's the same as like bridal party stuff. I'm dealing with all that with friends right now. If they're the type of person that would be so mad at you for not putting them in their bridal party, it's that type of person you want to be friends with anyways.
That person doesn't belong in a bridal party.
No, exactly. Okay, this is what I wanted to ask about to finish off because we could do an entire part 2 of this if you guys are interested. What is an appropriate wedding gift?
Money. Only money.
I agree.
Well, okay. I feel like people don't get engaged, at least my friends,
unless they already
later and they've already lived together and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So they're like a wedding registry doesn't really exist right now. I had a couple of friends who got married like right out of university, who they kind of had just moved in together, more or less, and they needed the toaster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that is a trope that doesn't really exist anymore.
I think try to pay for your head. I think and then
how much is that? How much is paying for a head at a wedding, do you think?
$200 a person right now, at least.
It depends. Depends on the venue. You can probably gauge it based on the venue.
You can gauge what it is. And then another question we got following up was like destination though. Does that change it? I think it does.
It does.
It does. It does. If you are, it depends. But yes, I think
if you're paying $1,500, $2,000,
but
per
this
person,
is, I have a hot take because all these people that live in Toronto and go get married in Barrie, go get married in Niagara on the Lake, whatever. That's technically destination. I'm now paying to stay in 2 nights in a hotel or all of this stuff. And then I'm still paying for my head for a thing. That's the weird expectation.
I think the line is the flight.
I know, Jacob, but like when people get married, like hours outside of the city they live in and where everyone else lives in, it's also a destination.
You're married in Brantford. In Brantford, you got to get a hotel.
And it's insane to me. If I can't Uber home, then it's like, okay, it's tough.
I have a friend who's doing his wedding at Peter Pan Bistro downtown.
That is such a slang.
That's an Uber.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Look, weddings are expensive stuff, but I assume it's like pay for your plate most of the time.
Yeah.
Give money. And I don't know, if you go to a bridal shower, maybe give them a toaster. That's when they would ask for that, right? That's kind of the whole idea.
I just don't want to go buy a toaster and have it, you know?
I mean, unless it's a Smeg toaster. I personally would love a Smeg toaster. Also, but make a registry because the old people love a registry and you'll get extra bonus gifts. Do it.
True.
All my friends that have like, oh, I don't want to make a registry.
There should be a website. This is business. Let's start this business together. It'd be a registry, but then it marks up like $20 per item and then you get that money as well. Is that fraud? Does that count?
I think that's fraud. I think that's scamming people.
It's like an affiliate commission that you also pocket.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's basically us like doing a Stag and Do version of a
You could make
registry.
your own wedding registry by building it with affiliate links.
100% you could. And then you
or whatever it is on different
That is not fraud. That is a business plan. Well, thank you so much for listening to some of our wedding hot takes. If you want another episode like this, please let us know because we could bitch and complain about this stuff all day.
Any other topics.
Any other topic. If you want our takes on it, give it to us. Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, all of the good things. We will see you back here in another episode very soon. My name's Sarah. That's Jacob. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.